Hey book nerds, welcome to my channel. So today I am super excited because I'm filming my Thrillerathon TBR. If you don't know, Thrillerathon is a thriller themed readathon. It runs from the 18th to the 24th of February and it's kind of organised by Harriet Rosie, so I'll link her announcement video down below where she goes through the challenges and explains what Thrillerathon is in a nutshell. If you don't know me, thrillers are pretty much my favourite thing to read, so I'm super excited that there's a readathon based all around thrillers, and this is just going to be going through the challenges and my TBR, and you know how readathon videos work. So the first challenge is to read your most anticipated thriller on your TBR. I actually just did a whole video about my most anticipated thrillers, which I'll link down below, and the one that I'm going to talk about isn't on that video. It's Baby Teeth by Zoje Stage. This was one of my most anticipated books for I did a video which was 2018 releases that I want to read in 2019, and this was one of them. But this is about a mother and a daughter, and essentially the mother starts suspecting that there's something wrong with the daughter, and there's like a tense, toxic relationship between them, and kind of thriller things happen around that. That's all they really know about it. Some of these might be a bit vague because I don't like to know tons about thrillers before I go in, just kind of the basic premise. But yeah, I'm super excited to read this one. The next challenge is to read the thriller that's been on your TBR the longest, and this is without a doubt Where the Memories Lie by Sibel Hodge. I've had this on my TBR now for about 5 years maybe. It was one of the first books I bought when I got my Kindle. Where the Memories Lie is about a woman whose father confesses to being a serial killer, and he can lead the police to where the last body is buried. However, he has dementia, and she basically has to decide whether or not, and the police have to work out whether or not he's telling the truth, whether he's got things confused in his brain. The fact that he has confessed and knows where the body is means that he possibly did do it, but then there's other stuff going on. I think it sounds really interesting. I like dementia as a plot point, and I'm surprised it's not used more really in thrillers. I've read a couple where there's characters with it, but they're usually not the focus. So yeah, I'd be excited to finally read that. The next challenge is to read the most recently added thriller to your TBR. I've tweaked this a little bit because I add thrillers to my TBR almost daily, and I didn't want to buy a new book when I've got so many current thrillers to read, so instead I've made it my most recent acquired purchase, kind of, and that is An Anonymous Girl by Greer, Hendricks and Pekkanen. Sorry, I've only just started using this iPad to show my book covers because I read ebooks and I don't have physical books, but I'm still a bit clunky. It's hard to kind of see that. So sorry for that, it'll get better. I'll learn how to use technology. But this is about a woman who enters a psychological experiment about morality and ethics, and then the experiment ends, I think, but she doesn't feel like it's ended. She feels like she's still being watched. That's kind of all I know about it. I'm massively into my psychology, and these are the authors that wrote The Wife Between Us, which I absolutely loved. I'm trying not to raise my expectations too high because I think that The Wife Between Us was so loved that this book's got a lot of hype to live up to, and I'm not necessarily expecting to love it as much as that. I'm more excited for how it stands on its own as a thriller based around a psychology experiment, because that alone is really cool. The next challenge is to read your thriller with the best cover, and for this I'm also picking Baby Teeth by Zoje Stage. This, I think, has just got a really striking cover. So it's got like a smashed lollipop, which I initially thought was like blood because I haven't really looked at this cover properly. It's just like stark white, and to be honest, for most of these thrillers you could probably use it for this challenge, because I think a lot of them have really nice covers, and that's kind of a strength of thrillers, is that they always make the covers really appealing. But yeah, this is the one I'm officially picking for this. The next challenge is to revisit a book or an author, and again for this one I'm picking An Anonymous Girl by Greer, Hendricks and Pekkanen. This one I didn't want to reread a thriller that I've already read because I don't like rereading thrillers most of the time, and kind of the ones I've loved I've read more recently. I'd rather take the opportunity to read a thriller I haven't read by the same authors. So I picked this one. Like I said, they wrote The Wife Between Us, which I really liked, and hopefully I really like this one. And the final challenge is to read a thriller that's been recommended to you. This one hasn't specifically been recommended to me, but we stocked it at work, and then also I heard Anna Francesco talking about this on her channel, which I'll link down below, and she gave it a really glowing review, which made me want to read it even more. It kind of bumped it up my TBR list. And that is Painkiller by N.J. Fountain. This was also on my most anticipated thriller list, so I could use it for that challenge and use a different one for the cover challenge if I end up not having time to read these. But this is about a woman who's got a chronic pain condition, and she finds a suicide note in her house that's written in her own handwriting, and she starts to think, is someone trying to kill her? Did she write it herself? And there's basically a whole thriller thing surrounding that. Like I said, Anna Francesca talked about this, and she said that the chronic pain rep was really good and it was handled really well, which made me want to read it more because I've studied chronic pain and I have a close friend with chronic pain who talked about their condition a lot. And again, it's something recently I've actually read a book about it, but before that I don't think I'd read anything about it ever, apart from as part of my studies. So yeah, it'll be really nice to read this and see how it is. And apparently it's a really good thriller as well, obviously, otherwise it's not just the chronic pain, it's a good thriller. So yeah, that is all of the challenges and all of my picks. I have a massive thriller TBR list, so it is entirely possible that if I read a couple of these or one of these and it's not as good as I hoped, I might just swap it out for other books because I have so many that could potentially work for these. But I will be doing a wrap-up video. I think I'll combine it with my end of the month video because it doesn't end until the 24th, and obviously February is a shorter month. I did just want to show off, I have a bullet journal readathon page, which isn't particularly fancy, but I really like doing these. I've just started doing these year for the readathons, and it's like an extra little bit of motivation to help me keep track of what I'm doing. So anyway, yep, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It helps me out massively. Do let me know if you're taking part in Thrillerathon. I would love to have more people to talk about thrillers with, particularly if on your channel you do like regular thriller videos. If you have any TBRs, post them down below. I'd love to watch them. I'm always looking for more thrillers to read. And if you have read any of these, do let me know what you thought of them, especially if you didn't like them and you think I should like maybe pick some others instead. But yeah, that was a long end to a video. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.